It feel too easy. Look at all we've done and no one suspects a thing.
Our stock continues to increase, but we've kept it below the radar.
Indeed. Everything appears to be proceeding according to plan.
That's true.
G'day everyone. Well, you've probably seen, if you play old school RuneScape or follow content creators that react to gaming news, you've probably seen the recent RuneScape membership survey drama on the internet, and streamer YouTubers such as Moist Critical, Asmongold, Odablock, just to name a few popular ones, have covered this, among many other great RuneScape, old school RuneScape creators. Now, there was a survey for players that was sent out, and this received very negative attention, mainly to do with the 4 options that were provided, each different tiered memberships, and there were actually things in these membership options that players feel should already be a part of old school RuneScape, or RuneScape that they've been asking for a long time. And I tend to agree that there's things that are missing in the game that players have asked for a long time. And I think the worst of them all is with the security features, locking that behind a tiered membership instead of it just being a part of the game with the subscription you may pay for, or even the free game. It should just be part of the game. So with that said, I think enough people have covered why it's angered people, but as a long-time player of the game, I can understand why this is happening. Not that it's a good thing at all. It's a very, very bad thing, but I think if you look into the parent company of Jagex, it's played ping pong over the past, within this decade, just around COVID actually, with 2020 to 2025 now. Well, it's had about 3 different companies.
That greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
So you look into the parent companies with Insight Venture Partners owning it from 2012 to 2016. Now 2012 was a pivotal moment for RuneScape, because that was only when one of the RuneScape games existed, which was RuneScape, and EOC happened, Evolution of Combat, and this drove away many players. There had been nail in the coffins previously, and people had gone and moved to private servers, which I don't really like private servers, but I can understand that they went after Wilderness collapsed and it went to Bounty Hunter. That was a huge change, and PKing back in those times of RuneScape was possibly one of the most popular things to do outside of, PVM, Player vs Monster, so I can understand back then. But then in 2012 with EOC, it drove away a great number of players, and Insight Venture Partners, not just Jagex, would have been absolutely melting down, because the amount of players that left would have caused a big fire in the shares, no doubt, and just the overall health of the product. So they quickly fired back, or I don't know if it was quickly, but they came back with the survey to say, hey, we would bring back a snapshot of 2007 and call it old school RuneScape, and I believe it had enough votes in the end. I don't know if it was a threshold, but it was close enough, and it got it over the line to come back, which was cool. So then we had old school RuneScape, so that was huge in 2013, is by the time we had old school RuneScape. So that's when that released with Insight Venture Partners, the parent company, and then it went to Hong2, I think, yes, so you pronounce it. Now they were similar to Venture Partners, where they had ownership of this for 4 years, so 2016 to 2020. But this is where it gets a bit grey, because these investment firms around 2020 really started, flipping this thing for what it's worth. So MacArthur Fortune Holding only had it for a year, from 2020 to 2021. The Carlyle Group owned it for 3 years, from 2021 to 2024. And then CVC Capital Partners invested in it, purchasing it with, I think, in partnership with another company, and that's to present now. And the big thing is with CVC, when you go onto their website, you can see that they're a high growth investment firm, and some of the things I've seen them say were quite concerning about the growth of the game, in that it didn't really specify how the growth would come. It was very like, we want to see growth in this product, and obviously for them, the bottom dollar is all that really matters. So it just seems like Jagex it's like a gun to the head type situation, where there's high up people in Jagex that work very closely with CVC, and they're the ones behind these surveys, working in partnership with CVC, and the devs shouldn't be the ones getting the blame, even the ones that their job is to be, marketing this, because every company has this. But I think it's looking pretty grim, if I'm going to be honest, because I've noticed the price too of Jagex go up. Like, this was purchased from CVC for £910 million, which is not a pretty. That's not pretty pennies. That's a friggin' gold mine purchase. So they're trying to milk this as much as they can as one of their assets. And the biggest thing that I can see these people being clever with the marketing is Runescape. They've probably done enough research to know Runescape's been the cash cow, in that it might not have the same player base as old school Runescape, but it makes them the most money with the microtransactions. And I think old school RuneScape, if they've seen it, yes, there's positive growth in a player base, but is there the positive financial growth they're expecting in 2024 and to 2025 this year? And I would say probably not, and they're probably looking at ways to spearhead how they can get that going. So not only is RuneScape the cash cow game, but the whole system is a cash cow, which is how this tiered membership seems to me. It seems to me like this, the tiered membership that they're doing will not just obviously affect RuneScape, it affects Jagex product that they have in with this, the Jagex launcher now. If they were to launch a new IP, they could do the same thing with that, with this tiered system. And they're saying, hey, we're going to, on their website, we want to see new IPs. We haven't seen lickety split anything yet. However, they're already marketing and getting feedback about a tiered membership system. So there is a reason why players are pissed, because even when you look at CVC's growth and their insights into that on their website, it is still saying, hey, we want new IPs, but we also want growth. Well, okay, maybe tell us what is there a new IP coming, things like that, before you just do a new tiered membership system, because it really reeks of like trying to just old school RuneScape players have asked for all this, and the dev feedback may have said, hey, they're asking for this, and this goes up to the top, and then they talk to CVC and they say, shit, how can we bundle this all up and make them our pay pigs? So realistically, that's how it feels, and that's literally how it would be. It's just when you call it for what it is, a spade, and cut through all the corporate bullshit, that's basically what it is. So I think it is pretty grim news, because old school RuneScape had been its own thing, and realistically we had RuneScape to thank for becoming a shit game in terms of the microtransactions. You can still play RuneScape, as an Iron Man, and it's a better game, but other than that, most people play it on their mains that they've had since the age of Dawn, and those poor suckers they've got so far the thing, they don't want to give it up. But I'm seeing many people say they want to quit their membership with this, to send a message. And it definitely feels like they're targeting old school RuneScape as well through this, and the whole product in general. And if old school RuneScape's under that, they're going to get their money's worth for the membership system, and then they're also going to have the microtransactions in RuneScape. And then it's a slow descent into madness where OSRS, let's be real, eventually gets microtransactions. So I think that's my little like brainstorm on it, sort of like a ramble, but I'd be interested to see. I wanted to just talk about it because I've noticed like since 2020 a lot of changes with the game, and I've been in clans with like Discord members and stuff, and I've just noticed them drop off, stop playing, who have played since the start of old school and long time ago in the main RuneScape game. So I think, unfortunately, this is obviously, this don't have to be a fortune teller to see this. This is not great news. The knee-jerk reaction from them putting out fires with the the follow-up with the membership and update from Mod Pips, Jagex CEO. I think them saying why we conducted the survey. It doesn't matter why the survey was conducted. It was what was in the fucking survey, mate. Not why the survey was conducted. We know that these corporate shill companies that just care for the shareholders are going to want to have a lot of data analytical feedback for how to make more money, and that's what it reeks of. Like, it's not like we already know why he did it. And these guys aren't a lot of these devs, they're just doing their job, and they cop a lot of abuse, which I hate players like that do that. It's disgusting. But I think Jagex as a company is certainly, if you're looking for a new job, I don't think you'd probably want to work at Jagex with seeing this, because they're basically just held over at gunpoint these days, and they cop all the abuse. So the shareholders and the people that are higher up in CVC don't have to deal with this shit. But just all this, like the plugin stuff, the player support. I could go into all this, but I feel like this was covered way better in other videos, so I don't really want to. And I don't want to go into this in minute detail. I just wanted to say more about the CVC, how I feel like it's pretty obvious that this is coming from CVC. Like, you could almost say, hey, not from Jagex, from CVC, we're wondering, which way do you want to be fucked this time, boys? So that's basically what their slogan should be. Which way do you like it? So anyway, let me know what you think. Be keen to see the comments of what you think. Is this disgraceful, or is this common practice these days? I think like with having all these different investment firms owning Jagex has never been a good thing, but then again, it's like, would you want a massive company like Microsoft to own you, like Blizzard? Let me know down below what you reckon the best future would be if it could get sell off to a big tech company instead of just a multi-investment firm with different fingers in different pies. But alright, catches.